So basically, Zymertic is a company, it's a startup company, only 6 months old, that we call ourselves enzyme production. So Zymers come from the words Zymer, which means a person who knows about enzymes, and Retic is a process. So we aim to be the first Malaysian industrial enzyme producers to produce enzyme to be used for the local productions in Malaysia, especially for the industry and for people just like you and me. So we are proud to introduce to you the first made in Malaysia enzymes. So basically, what are enzymes? For those who don't know anything about enzymes, so enzyme is a raw material that is made of protein. Therefore, it's a biodegradable thing. It is also a biocatalyst. So it's a two-in-one raw material where you can add enzyme to enhance a product value. For instance, you add enzyme into detergent to enhance the biodegradability of the enzymes, and of course, to improve the cleaning efficiency. And also, enzyme can be a biocatalyst to accelerate industrial processes. So why use enzymes? So enzyme is green, like I mentioned, it's made of protein. So when released to the environment, it is biodegradable, and it can be converted into carbon dioxide and just water. When you use chemical catalyst, when you have to dispose to the environment, it sticks there and it disrupts our economic chain. So it's clean, and also energy efficient and reaction specifics. When I mention energy efficient, it means that when you introduce enzyme into one application, basically it reduces the amount of energy to activate the reactions, which means that you don't need so much energy when used to activate a reaction when you use enzymes. So application of enzymes are various, but our Zymeretics focus on two applications, two enzymes, that is protease and lipase. Protease can be used in food industry, detergent, laundry industry, bread industry, pet food, and of course detergents. And lipase can also be used, they almost have the same applications. What I'm saying is that, for instance, the protease is break down protein. Let's say you have, one current application that we're working on is that to make budu. It's simple things that you have to ferment the anchovies, the ikan bilis and salt, and you put in very large container and you ferment it for 2 years. But when we introduce enzymes for the budu productions, we actually can speed up the fermentation process. The current budu production takes 24 months, 2 years for everything to degrade. But when we introduce enzymes, the protease, it can speed up by 3-fold. That is only 6 months to get a budu. Just a simple application like that. And of course, you can add protease into detergent to make it more biodegradable. And because protease is background protein, if you have your stains like on your body, on your clothes that are from fish or from any meat-based thing, you can use protease to help to eliminate the stains. And the other one that is lipase. Currently, that we're working on the production of lipase to produce oleochemical and also specialty fats. Lipase can be used to convert the fats and oil into a raw material that such as cocoa butter substrate. This substrate is basically being used as a raw material to be used in chocolate, like Kit Kat or things like that that we eat. So lipase can be these enzymes can be direct application to us, or basically it can be indirect application where the manufacturers use enzymes to produce raw material that can be used into our daily application products. So the enzyme market size is very huge. The world enzyme consumption itself is around USD 3.4 billion. But let's zoom in into the Malaysian consumption of enzymes. Malaysian imports 600 tons of enzyme every year. So Zymeretics target to serve 5% of Malaysia enzyme consumption, that is 30 tons per year. So Malaysia totally imports enzyme. We don't produce enzyme here in Malaysia. So these are basically the problems when Malaysia imports enzyme. When we go out from the building and ask the customer what are basically the top 3 problems that they are experiencing. First, there is lack of enzyme supply. There are always disruptions in the supply of, therefore it disturbs the whole production process. And also there's a problem with the pricing and also the duration of time, because we have to import, we have to wait, the enzyme to come from Netherlands, to come from Japan, to be here in Malaysia. And secondly, the enzyme specifications. Like for certain applications, they are very specific, they need enzyme to be custom made. So most of the MNC, the multinational companies, they only have enzyme from the catalog. They have to choose enzyme from the catalog, and they can custom it, but they don't really target a very small production of enzyme to be customized. But we do small scale customization of enzyme. And thirdly, they don't know where to seek local enzyme experts. So when we come to them and ask, they also don't know where to find, to know about enzyme. They can only Google from internet. But we are here that we can assist the enzyme users on what are specific enzyme that they need for their applications. So our solution is a boutique enzyme manufacturer. When I say boutique, let's say we are small, and then we do custom-made enzyme. So this is our solutions. Local productions, we work hand in hand with the industrial manufacturers, where we do the on-site testing of the enzyme. So before you purchase the enzyme, we do on-site testing to ensure that the enzyme works. And secondly, we can custom-made the enzyme. That's why we call ourselves a customized enzyme boutique manufacturers. And thirdly, we work very closely with the local enzyme experts that do continuous R&D on our enzymes. So the enzymes can be modified. It can be introduced into different hosts to produce a super enzymes. So we were working very closely with the experts from UPM that do isolation of enzymes from the beginning, from the Malaysian rich biodiversity until to seeing the structure of the enzyme, till the alpha and beta sheet of the enzyme. So that's why we say that we are the expert in terms of modification of the enzyme. We can produce the custom-made enzymes. So when we compare ourselves, Zymatics and the multinational companies, like where usually people use them to import enzymes, so they are Novozyme, Amano, and Advanced Enzyme Limited from India. So we do have local enzyme production, where they don't have. We also do on-site testing, where the MSC only have sales office here in Malaysia. So it's very difficult for them to seek for the local experts. And then we can do custom-made enzyme for a very small scale, from 1 kilo up to ton. And then we also have the unique enzyme properties, 4-in-1 enzymes, where nobody in the world has that. So our enzyme, this is being isolated from the Malaysian biodiversity. First, the enzyme is alkaline, which is very important for detergent making and other industrial application that needs alkaline condition. Second, is thermostable, 70 degrees C. So far, that being on the market, the enzyme thermostability is only 60 degrees C. So 10 degrees C give a very huge impact in terms of energy efficiency. And second, thirdly, we also have the organic solvent tolerant enzyme, which the enzyme can survive in a very extreme environment where we need organic solvent to function, where the reaction needs organic solvent. For example, as the biofuel, productions or any alcoholic reactions. And also, our enzyme can sustain in very high salt tolerance. It has been proven that we tested our enzymes in the voodoo production, where they use actually 40% of the mixture between ikan bilis. 40% of that 40% is actually salt, and the rest is the fish. So the 40% is very high. I'm not saying that the MSC doesn't have all these enzymes, but they don't have all-in-one in one package. They have the separate enzymes. So we put our pricing to be equally the same with MSC, but we do have, we can custom-made our enzymes, so the price range can be altered. And also we can also produce enzyme at 99% purity. Where you can eat the enzyme straight away in the form of capsule. If for instance you eat lipase, it can be your ubat kurus lah, because lipase break down fat. And yes, and also alkaline enzyme. So this is where Zymatics is going in. First, I mentioned that we have seeing a few early adopters that want to test our enzymes. So we're going for the food and beverage industry because it serves a bigger market. Firstly, coming in for those that needs enzyme like protease, where we can basically convert the soy sauce, and also the anything that fermented fish products, and also oil and specialty fats, where they need lipase to change the oil and fats to specialty fat that can be used for the confectioneries, to produce cocoa butter substitutes. These are very unique component to make chocolates and biscuits. And also, and later on, when have established the first sub-market, then only we go to detergent and home care products, because it serves a lower purity of enzyme. This one, it needs higher purity of enzyme at 96%. The other one, we can only use crude enzymes. So from a business perspective, it's better for us to go at a higher risk market, and then we can always penetrate to the adjacent market. So this is basically how we sell our enzymes. First of all, we come to the customers and we propose to them a concept paper tuned to the what are the application of the enzyme that you need. And then only we can do on-site testing based on the concept paper proposal. Then we sell our enzyme in bulk, and then the price range could be from 500 to 900,000 per kilo, depending on the purity of the enzyme and how specific is the enzyme. So this is what we're doing, recipe formulation of the enzyme. We can mix couple of enzymes and then mix them. So we also provide consultations. This is after service. And also basically I want to show you that this is basically our current arrangement of enzyme production flow. So our IP is from UPM, that we got the technology of enzyme production from UPM. And then we have to grow the microbe in a very big fermenter. And then this is what we do best, that we purify and package the enzyme to be sold as raw material. So this is how basically the enzyme is being discovered. So the microbe producing enzymes, we screen the microbes is from the Malaysian biodiversities. You maybe not realize that even in Pasar Malam, we can get a very super microbe that produce very good enzymes. So one of our enzymes is being isolated from palm oil meal effluents. So because these extreme conditions give a very good properties of enzyme. And also we isolate our enzyme from the hot spring, because hot springs means like around 60 to 70 degree. That's why we can get very thermostable enzyme. So when we identify the microbe, and then we grow the microbe, and we purify the enzyme. So at this stage of enzyme purification is where the enzyme can be used for detergents, can be used for food. So different purity of enzymes serve, even one enzyme serve a lot of applications. And also we even do crystallization of enzyme to see the structure of the enzyme, meaning the protein structure of the enzyme, the beta sheet and alpha sheet. So, and also one of the enzymes that we actually have been sending to space under the Angkasa 1 project to see deep into the structure of the enzyme. So once we know the structure of the enzymes, we can simply modify the amino acids and produce more enzymes based on one enzyme. So, and then the enzyme is being converted into the product. So how basically we place ourselves to be going towards sustainability and energy efficiency. First is through enzyme manufacturing, where in the future we can design a plant that use solar power, use recycle water, and also process design optimizations of the whole enzyme production itself, and genetic engineering of the super enzymes. And secondly, through the application of enzymes. You might not realize, but when we put in Malaysia, because Malaysia is a hot country, but there's one story in Europe where they have a very big laundry company. So this laundry company, they need to use hot water to clean the laundry. So the laundry become clean. But then when they buy enzyme, detergent containing enzyme from Novozyme, and then they put into the formulation for the laundry, and they use that, they found out that the cleaning efficiency much more improved compared to when they do not use enzymes. So they don't even have to use hot water anymore. They just have to use the detergent containing enzymes. it can improve a lot of energy efficiency and carbon footprint. So enzyme is basically something that we extract from nature and we just want to implement more in our life. So of course, in the future, we can have like efficient fuel cells powered by enzymes. So this enzyme is called hydrogenase. We can, the water molecule, when we introduce enzymes, it can produce more like from detergent, from the hydrogen and water splits, it produces energy. So that is when we call it, fuel from the enzymes. So actually, that is my team. Me, myself, actually we are working very closely with professor from UPM, 2 professors from UPM. We have Saiful. So we basically doing the R&D that's towards commercializations. We're not doing something that doesn't have value. So this is based on the microbes from our Malaysian rich biodiversity, and we want to implement the enzymes to be used by the Malaysian industry that is currently being importing enzymes from overseas. So that's why we should use our made in Malaysia enzymes. So what we're basically looking for is that we're looking for more customers and potential early adopters, because we are still a startups and we want to test more on our enzyme at pilot scale. Then we also need experts in biological product manufacturing. Once we want to have a very set of full-scale factory to produce our own enzymes. Because now we still have to outsource certain parts of our productions. For instance, the bioreactor, things like that. And also we're looking for future investors. But currently we got enough funding for this stage. But maybe when we want to set up the factory to expand, yeah, that's for the future. I think that's all. Thank you.